Ladies and gentlemen, it's Moses, and welcome to Build Curious. Today we are back again with InZOI, and we're going to be trying our hand at building another modern home. And hopefully this time things will go a little bit easier. And as always, we've got a nice empty lot in front of us. But before we begin, I'm going to play around with a few shapes and see if we can get something that's worth working with. I am, however, at least not as useless anymore. I've learned to do a few things, like you can room select. I didn't know that. And that means you can then also stretch the walls like you can in Sims. I was doing it the worst possible way before. So we're learning, we're getting there. And I think, like I said before, just a bit of time in the game, and we'll learn to do a lot more things. So I'm looking forward to that. I think this is perhaps the gist of it, but I would definitely like to just go around and start adding some of the windows and some of the doors, things like that. And I think that's when the shape will really start to take form. So with a couple of adjustments, I think we're getting quite close to the overall shape and look of everything. So I also went around and added some bushes and things like that, because I think it kind of gives you a better idea of what you're looking for. I'm not too sure. But anyways, there is still a bit of detailing that I want to do. Like, I don't know, just adding a little bit of extra shape to the walls or something of the sort. I'm not sure. Like, I want to try to do just a little bit more of detail on the walls than having flat walls all the time. This is kind of what I was thinking when I was saying detailing, right? I think this looks pretty good. Some wood paneling on the sides. I'd like to do it in more places, maybe some horizontal ones also. Okay, all my hopes and my dreams have been shot down. So in order to keep the ceiling, you need to keep the floor below it. Anyways, why this is a problem is because I can't get rid of this floor, which initially was like, oh cool, it's a nice shape though. I don't mind keeping it. But then we're stuck with this like white piece at the bottom again. I can't change the white piece unless I make another floor below. So ultimately we just have this loop that I can't really fix. And I'm stumped. I'm not quite sure how to move on from here unless I just completely abandon this idea, which is really sad. If only it was possible to have a ceiling exist on its own, or at least with just one supporting wall. But am I missing something? Is there an easier way to do this? Am I stupid? I don't understand. Perhaps there might be one or two more things that I would like to do on the exterior, at least in the front, because there's still, of course, many things to do all around the house. But I think before I start committing to where windows and things are going to go, I want to just get started on one of the rooms. And one of them that's been like on my mind is the kitchen. And I want to do it right here on this side of the house. And I think it's going to be a great view, and there's lots of space to do an interesting kitchen. So I'm thinking something kind of along these lines where we've got the counter over here, and then I want to have some sort of table. I'm not sure which one. This could be too big even, but just some sort of table somewhere over here. Something of this nature, and then maybe elevating a platform somewhere. I was thinking about that. However, I feel like it's just going to leave us with a lot of awkward situations. So something that I've done here, which doesn't look exactly how I wanted it to, is these steps kind of going up to the kitchen, having the kitchen on a platform. But as you can tell, the steps are different sizes, but I can't seem to change that. It's just like the first size is this really thin one. The second one is this thick one. Um, yeah, so I don't really know what to do about that. So I'm going to leave it as is. You know, it still looks pretty decent, I think. The Zoe can still get over it, so it works. I am feeling pretty conflicted about this back wall over here. I do want to have it something different to the rest of the kitchen, but I can't really decide what. It's either these like white kind of tiles, something like that. I even had the thought of bricks, perhaps just like a plain brick face, which could look cool if you change the countertops and things to match it. And one other thing I thought of was perhaps like this kind of concrete, you know, like this brutalist kind of feeling or something, but I'm so not sure. Let me know in the comments which of those you guys preferred. Okay, so I think we've got something going. I like the lights. I think each one kind of meshes with the other. My one problem, I think, is that it's just too white. Like, I know white can often be like quite modern, but perhaps it's just too white. Or maybe I just need more things in here. And of course, we need to still, choose the right table and chairs and whatnot. But so far, so good. I think it's time to start adding a few things here and there to just accentuate. And maybe that's all we need in order to fix the too white problem. I think that ought to do it. That's a lot of color. Might be a bit too much, I'm not sure. Something that I was hoping to do was import some of my own textures for paintings. Just get a bit more specific with what I want. I don't know if I'm doing it wrong. So here's a bunch of things I imported, and they were all done in like a 16:9 ratio, but it keeps on importing them. So if I scale it down, you should be able to see. It's like squares. You see that? Like everything is squares. And I can only change like the size. I can't really, you know, move it around, which is weird because with the floors, it seems like you can, right? So like with the floor, you can do horizontal position and it changes, and vertical position and it changes. So it's kind of sucky that you can't do it with the large paintings. I'm not sure if I'm missing something somewhere along the lines. So inside the house, it's kind of dark. Granted, we don't have lights back here. Not yet, at least. But I'm worried that when I'm down in this view, this low, that you guys on YouTube can't see that well. I'm not sure. I remember a long time ago, one of my subscribers mentioned that I should put in temporary lighting because it was too dark. They couldn't see. And since then, I've been quite worried about, whether or not you guys on YouTube can see clearly or not. So if this is a bit too dark, just let me know and I'll I'll do better. I went for a completely different theme that I was going to go for earlier. And I just kind of struggled with the whole modern look, especially when there's like limited things to choose from. So we're going to go with this instead. I think it looks good though. There's just the floor and like the stairs that I'm not like sure what to do just yet. But we get this like, I don't know what to call this. Is it rustic? But it is what it is, all right? And I think I'm happy with it. We've got most of what we need in here. I try to keep a few countertops nice and open, like this one over here and this one, just to make sure that there's like lots of space for cooking. I know in The Sims they can actually cook together, so I was kind of keeping that in mind while doing this, although I don't think it applies in this game. But anyways, just realistically speaking, it's nice to have a good deal of counter space available. So that's kind of what we're going for. Not a lot of overhead counters, or what are they called? Cabinets, upper cabinets. Usually I always do that. And I just realized this time, why? Why do I always need to have upper cabinets? It seems unnecessary. Helpful, I'm sure, realistically speaking, but they don't always need to be there. And I think that's all we need. We got like the main appliances, toaster, a little juicer, a kettle, a microwave, and a rice cooker, right? Yeah, rice cooker. This is a seriously big rice cooker, by the way. I actually use a rice cooker quite often. This is like for 5 families or something. Anyways, I would have loved to have like the overlapping counters like they have in The Sims so that I could put some bar stools here, maybe move the table up a bit. But yeah, that's not. I mean, they have bar stools, but um, yeah, that doesn't work, right? And I hope you guys like the kind of theme I went for. I know it's really rough, like this is concrete slabs, wood paneling, like it's very rough. So in this game, and I'm sure they'll fix it, but like things keep reappearing. Like when you delete the railings off of stairs, they just keep coming back. But yeah, I just had to put that out there. So if you see something kind of like reappearing that really shouldn't be there, it probably wasn't there to begin with. It's come back to haunt me. All right, so next is our like most challenging part always, and that's the stairs. Now, I Could make it easy and just slap in a staircase, maybe give it a twist or two, and there we go. But I really want to try to like do some platforming, different elevations, kind of have the stairs going up in platforms. Perhaps in this corner over here, up to the top. I think this is what we're going for. It looks almost how I want it to. I mean, there's a few things here and there that game limitations I can't do, but I think we've got kind of what we want. I'm not sure if this is kind of what I want, the grand piano, although I feel like it is a good a place as any to put one. Um, but I'm just not sure. So now that we're finished with the ground floor, I believe everything is done. It's time that we go to the second. In the kids' bedroom, however, I did once again add another platform. We've got tons of those in this house. As you can tell, I'm in my platforms. I'm in my platform stage. So I'm thinking of putting the bed on this platform, kind of squeezing it in. We'll see. So something I added just in the kids' room was this little lion rug, which I thought was kind of cool. So I just added that, and also you can add like connector stuff for your curtains, so it actually goes all the way across, which now makes this seem a little bit less out of place. But anyways, I also finished the bathroom, and I just had to move the wall slightly, just like one block, but that made a huge difference, right? It made everything fit. And it's a bit difficult to show you what's going on in here, but I think this came out really well. Like it's a small use of space. It definitely doesn't look like a kid-friendly kind of bathroom. That's unfortunately just what we're gonna have to live with. Very nice though. I'm really surprised that it came out so cool considering how small it is. I think it's time that we start our next room. I feel like the lighting is not so great, but anyways, I've decided that I'm gonna go with something kind of like this. Just white walls going around. Well, it's hard to see when you're in the room, but anyways, white walls going around, and then we've got this like a navy blue wood panel, and I'm hoping that looks kind of cool. I'm looking at some reference images, and I see it's actually quite a popular choice to have paneling like this. It's usually a bit bigger spaced panels, or I don't know, whatever it is. It's usually got bigger spacing, um, which I think would have looked nicer. But I'm going to try to make this work. I think it can work. In fact, I quite often enjoy having a wall that's different to the rest, like just one. I mean, we did it down here. Okay, well, it was two. And we did it again over here. Uh, two different walls, actually. In this case, the wood one and the concrete slabs. So I enjoy doing that, as you can tell. And again, also for the kids' room, yeah, we did it again. I didn't realize how much I was doing it in this house, but anyway, so that's a theme. That's a thing. Something I always tend to forget as well is like storage space for clothes. I don't know why it's always such a second thought, but yeah, we're gonna have to figure something out. After having already done like the little uh, stop motion thing, whatever you want to call it, I decided I'm going to actually go check out the 3D objects one more time. And there is actually quite a few good ones out there, like this set of things called 3453. I don't actually know what the name was called, but there's actually some good things. These slippers, I mean, if you get too close, they look a bit weird, but those are good. And there was something else that I got as well. Oh, right. These images in the bathroom are from a 3D set. So I do want to play around a little bit more with that in the future. Just because there is really such a lack of creative items. And also my own textures. Like for starters, this rug was something I had generated, as well as this one here. So I would like to experiment a little bit more with that in the future. It would be nice to do some more of that stuff. Don't get me wrong, though. I would very much appreciate there just being more base game stuff. But, I think we just need to be a bit patient with that. Anyways, yeah, so I'm going to continue just fleshing out. I always say the wrong one. This room, in the hallway, I guess. And then we're going to go upstairs and finish off the last room or two rooms or three rooms. I don't really know just yet what this is going to be. I don't know if this is a strange thing to do in the video, but I really just want to kind of point out one of the canvas creators that I really, really like using is Helena Emery. She's got like so many interesting things to use and to look at. And as far as I can tell, most of them are pretty good quality. I haven't looked at that much yet, but they seem to be good 3D scans, or I'm not sure. I don't know how they do it. But anyways, so if you're looking for someone, I would recommend this person. I just assumed that he would be able to walk up here, and I'm pretty sure I tested it initially when I made it. Now he just can't. Oh my soul, what on earth am I going to do? This elevation that it's at currently is equivalent to this, right? And he can easily walk up here, the Zoe can easily walk up here, but he doesn't want to walk up here. And I'm assuming it's because there's like no ceiling. So for some reason that probably doesn't make any sense, he can't go here. Yeah, so anyways, that cool design is gone. We're going to have to settle with something a bit more boring, unfortunately. I'm sorry. I don't know how to fix it. I don't know what to do. Unfortunately, we've lost like a really cool part of the house that I thought was cool. I think maybe overall, that doesn't look too bad. I'm still, don't get me wrong, a little upset about losing that elevated platform, but yeah, it's time to move on. I think it's fair to say we've done just about everything I wanted to do in this like open hallway area. We've got this place leading to the master bedroom. We've got, I don't know, staircase area. Um, Interestingly, this shelf thing is, well, everything here actually is custom 3D stuff, which means you can't just like snap objects to it. So I had to make sure that everything on the shelf was also custom, because that way you can actually kind of drag things up. It's really finicky, but yeah, we managed to get this going. Okay, cool. I think problem solved. That's kind of more centered. Right. So, anyways, we've finished this area. We finished all the rooms here, and we've done also this room up here. Okay, that was pretty straightforward. Nothing particularly fancy here. Just a nice small bathroom with your essentials. And lastly, it's going to be the study, and then that's the interior finished. I'm willing to say that we are finished. Now, the thing that's left for me to still do is some of the lighting around the exterior, outside, perhaps along the pathway or something like that. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for our build in InZOI. And honestly, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this one more than I did. I feel like sometimes you're going to win some, sometimes you're going to lose. For me, there was the section in the house of like the little platform by the stairs. It really broke me. And I feel like I lost a really cool design or concept in the house and had to like settle for something not so cool. But overall, I think it's a cool house. I'm glad with how everything turned out. Please let me know in the comments what you guys think. If there's something that you think should have changed, should have been different, whatever it is, I'm always open to suggestions, and I just enjoy chatting with you guys. So that'll be it from me for now. This is Moses, getting ready to bounce.